Good. Let's switch to English then. Can you sum up your last 3 days that you have been working on your own?
Yeah, I started the B1 course. I'm wondering how fast I should go through the course.
How fast did you go through the course?
I mean, I haven't even finished lesson 1 yet, so I'm a bit nervous about my pace.
But how many hours did you put into this?
Probably for just the B1, at least 4. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds about right. Where are you in lesson 1?
Doing a reading analysis number 2,
Okay.
I think.
And what took you the most time?
I think just reading everything. I think I just read everything and I read it twice, so I feel super slow.
Well, it's a setup, right? If the setup is clear,
Yeah.
then you will make up for the time invested later.
Yeah. I also take notes, so that also takes, like, it feels like a third step.
What kind of notes do you take?
If there's a new word, I kind of have like a section in my notebook where I put it down.
And
Yeah.
what else?
If there's a new rule, basically, if there's a new grammar rule, then I have a section for the grammar and I put it down. Yeah. Yeah.
And why do you do that?
I like to review it. So at the start of the next time I study German, I look over my notes so that I can, that it can reboost in my brain, basically.
So you're copying my course, which is always available online at any point in time, so that you can just reread the copy of the original instead of just going back to the original and rereading that.
I think it's helpful for me to put it for myself somehow.
But
And
how?
it's also because it's all in one place, so I can just look at it. Yeah.
But SmarterGerman is all in one place. It's one domain.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's like pulling out the small little, like it's a small little pieces. Like now I know what Dann means. And that's something that I wanted to lock into my brain. So instead of going back and saying, okay, done, I don't know.
Okay. So one thing I would like you to stop doing is writing down new words. That is a colossal waste of anybody's time. Simply because you have the Anki decks now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do this job so much better than you could ever do. Simply because there's an algorithm at play that repeats them after a certain amount of time, and it adjusts to how well you remember them. Consciously, you could never achieve this. Writing down the words is not necessary. The app will take over for that. And words will come again and again. Certain words will stick better than others. And the ones that don't stick, don't stick. It's fine. Or you put later on, we will have a session where I show you how to deal with these nasty words that won't stick. But for now, these are not a problem.
Okay. I'm doing the same for the irregular verbs. So you recommend the same.
Yes, you have the app.
Yeah.
I know it's an investment, a steep investment of 99 cents, but the app does the same. It kind of repeats it when you need to. Honestly, if you hammer it through in a weekend, you could be done with it with a little review a few weeks later. What matters is that you get the technique, that you understand how it works, what's the principle. I will test you in a bit. Yeah, we will do a review of what we did last time. Yeah, so I see what sank in, what not, and whether we have to look at it from a different angle. So taking notes of rules, can't argue too much with it. Taking notes in general is not a bad thing if it means you digest it. You write down a digest of what you are looking at, not everything literally. Yeah, transcriptions. Many people transcribe and call it taking notes. I don't think you do that. Yet, reviewing those notes, I do not think is necessary. Taking notes helps you focus on what matters. You extract information, and that is a process, and that process will help you learn. Reviewing, sure, testing is actually very helpful in learning, but my courses test you on all the rules, and they make you use it, for example, in the preaching. And we will look at the preaching today. Yeah?
Okay.
We work through a few things in the course at a time, but slowly but steadily. So sure, take those notes, but don't. It's a habit we learn in school. That's how we all go to school.
It makes me feel better.
Yeah, I learned it, and I somehow did it. I was lousy at it, but I stopped taking notes or reviewing notes when I got older. Yeah, when I went back to school, I took notes, but I never looked at them again. And I had a very good final grade paper. Yeah. So let's save time and focus on what is unclear. And if something is clear, you said, what was the thing that was clear? The das versus das? Or the Dann versus den, or what was the?
It was like Dann and als.
Ah, also nice. Dann and als. Can you explain the difference?
So Dann is like then, or something like it happened, and then als I think is also something with an A. I know there's a strong association with an A.
Yeah. Okay, you see down here the two examples.
Yes.
Yeah. Es regnet, dann gehe ich nicht raus. How would you translate this?
It's raining, then I don't go outside. And then also it's been raining. Also ich rausgegangen bin. Also I've been staying inside because it's been raining.
Okay, so the first one, es regnet, dann gehe ich nicht raus. So I don't go outside. There's nothing that changes. The important part to always look at is the position of the verb. What position do you see the verb gehe in?
The second position.
Yes. So then, dann doesn't change anything. Yeah. The second one, als ich rausgegangen bin. So where's the verb?
At the end.
Yes. So als is something that I call a pusher. No change. And let me call this, it's a pusher. That's an unofficial term I coined. It's a subjunction, and subjunctions push the conjugated verb to the end, the bin.
Okay.
Yeah? They don't like verbs, so they push them to the end, like in a queue. That's a huge difference. Now, als means when, in a timely, I would say timely manner, at least in this context. Yeah. So at the time that I went outside, it was raining. So there's a little bit of a difference here. One is about time, the other one is about consequence. Yeah.
Okay.
It rains, so I'm not going outside. If, then kind of. And the other one is there was a timely event. I went outside, and at the same time, it was raining. And this is the main difference between the two.
Okay.
But visually, and the one thing you need to remember is that als pushes.
Okay.
Do you know other words that push?
Aber,
Oder
oder, yeah.
could be. Conjunctions,
Um,
subjunctions.
mm, also
We have
aber, no?
I give you a few because you opened the box of Pandora. Yeah. By the way, careful. Then is not done. Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is always a bit of a pain. Uh-huh.
okay.
Never push. So none of these ever push anything. Yeah. They don't even count. They have no significance when it comes to sentence order. But we ignore this until it comes up again.
Okay.
The other words you know is while.
Mm-hmm.
You might have heard ob, als is one, and
Deshalb.
en.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few more, but for now, these four do the job. These are all connecting sentences, and when you use them to do so, you push.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so, but this is, yeah, because of als. Okay, Ansicher, we don't have to go to the down the als route. We will get to the while with the preaching sooner or later. So I'm not going down there, just checking the difference. So writing down this didn't help you.
No, it
Yeah,
didn't.
and it never helps. So what helps is understanding. Now we would have to practice this. Give me a few minutes. Near the end, I might generate a few exercises or give that to you as a homework. This will be your homework. Yeah, we will not do this live because I have to come up with something. Homework. And then the homework will make it clear. You will get 50 exercises for when to use which. And it will be very kind of easy once you at least know what you're looking for. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is about note taking and why I'm not a fan, at least not of reviewing it. And if you take notes, the question is, what does the note look like? And I would love to see your notes. Take a picture, send them to me on WhatsApp, just to align and optimize. Yeah, it's not wrong
Okay.
if you want to spend your time on this, by all
Yeah.
means. Yeah, good. So far, so good. Let's review what we did. Wiederholung. By the way, do you know the meaning of the word Wiederholung, the literal translation?
Repeat.
Yes. Wieder means again. And what does holen mean?
To
Abholen.
to give, I guess, or
Almost. To get. To fetch.
to get.
Actually, to get. Hol mir ein
Like
Bier, get me a
abholen.
beer. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Pick me up. Yeah. But that is abholen. So holen is kind of get me, bring me a beer, fetch me a beer. Yeah. Not fetch in the sense of catching. Okay. Yeah. The ung is just grammar. It just shows this is a noun. So fetch something again. Get something again. Get it again. Yeah. Let's see whether you remember. What are the irregular verbs? What do you remember? Just and you cannot do
Okay.
wrong. This is not a test. It's just really checking what stuff.
So irregular verb doesn't follow the normal rules. And what I learned was some associations to help with the vowels that change in the different tenses.
Very good. And we started with the most important tense, the here and now. So what changes do irregular verbs show in the here and now, in the present tense?
For present tense, it's the do. There's a change, and then for er is
He, she, it.
is sie.
Correct. Good.
Yeah.
Very good. And what are the two possible changes? I said there were three. I'll show you the third time one today, but it's only one verb, so we don't care. Two
This is
possible changes.
for the practicum, you mean? You mean which tenses?
No. In the we stick to the present tense for now. So for the do and the he, she, it form, there is two possible changes when it's irregular. So, for example, I give you the first one. The A changes to what?
A with the umlaut.
Correct. And then there's the other one, for example, if you have lesen.
To the IE.
Yeah, E changes to either I or IE. Ne? Fahren. Genau. And this is all there is to know about irregular verbs in the here and now. And you have already picked up something for the past tense. Yeah. So, do you remember to fry? We did this last time. It was associated with an image. What was that image? Do you remember? Someone frying?
I think it was a ninja.
Ah, very good. You didn't put much effort into it, right? So it's still stuck. It's still stuck. So the ninja, what does the ninja mean?
The vowels, the I and the A, will help us determine which vowels will change when the tense changes.
Very good. And so we have three tenses. Let's go a bit more structured. Präteritum. Perfect, right? First of all, if you remember the ninja, what does this mean for the present tense? Is it regular or irregular?
It's going to be a irregular verb.
Yeah.
But
if there's no ninja, it must be regular.
Yeah.
Ninja or friends. You have a couple of friends that if none of these friends appear in your memory, it must be a regular verb. A regular verb. So it sounds like irregular. So I give you the German word, which is braten. Can you create the present tense of the, actually we use the S form. S?
Bratet?
So it's irregular in the present tense. What does that mean?
That it should follow the normal rules still, right? For present tense?
Yeah, the ending is fine. But the
vowel
changes.
Oh, the vowel change. Yeah, okay. So it would change to the A with the umlaut. So
pronounce it.
Bretet.
Yeah, that would be if braten would follow the rules. Unfortunately, this is the one of maybe the only exception where it doesn't get an extra T. Special. But the umlaut was the important part. So präteritum is also just the stem plus a new vowel. What is the vowel of präteritum?
So because it follows the ninja, then it would be with the I.
Very good.
Brit.
Yeah, could be Brit, could be breed. We take the longer one.
Okay.
Whether it's I or IE, it will come automatically. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
The pronunciation alone will teach you later. Yeah, Brit, breed. And you will learn to hear the difference later on. Not important now. And the past tense is also written like this. I give you the framework. What is the perfect?
So it will be with the A. Gebraten.
Excellent. And if I write perfect, I also have to add this little word there. We look at the past tense, maybe even today, who knows? So is there anything still unclear? It doesn't mean you have to always instantly respond the right form, but anything unclear in the theory?
No, it was good to review this.
Yeah. Always good. If you work with the app, at least the forms will. The app also has a quiz in there and will test you on it. So I recommend you really invest half an hour in it here, half an hour tomorrow. really just to get the hang of it and watch the videos. That might be your next move because it's out of the way then for good. No?
Where are the videos? Let me just check
if you go
have this
check,
right.
there's two buttons on the top.
Yeah.
One says simple advanced on the upper left. That's simply what kind of mode you use. On the right, there is several options. If you click it twice, it should open videos.
Yes. Okay.
You see them?
Okay. Yeah.
And then you watch them through. So it describes what is the problem so that you understand the problem from a different angle and the solution, which is the ninja. So it's worth the effort. And there's a couple of bonus videos which you maybe watch later on. Yeah, for example, like how to multiply this. You learn around 80 irregular verbs with the app, but there's a trick to turn that into easily 400 without additional work. Yeah, so these videos you can watch next week, but the core problem and the solution and the memory technique should be clear. Okay, so can you create the forms of fahren? Do you remember the association with fahren? What did we talk about?
Fahren. I don't remember actually. Does that mean it's not irregular?
No, I wouldn't trick you like this now.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a US American in a big car.
Okay.
You know, with the golden hat and the golden tonsils and the Bible, golden Bible, and you know, all these things.
Yeah.
You had your own picture, right? So it's irregular. So it's US American. No? How do you create the forms now?
So if it's changing, should the A become have an umlaut?
Yeah, say it.
So fahren.
But you still have to conjugate, meaning you have to find the right ending for S.
Fährt.
Yes, very good. And now the preteritum, maybe you already know how to build it. Fuhr, very good.
Fuhr. Hat gefahren.
Yeah, this one is, don't worry about it. That's a different topic. Very good. Let's try something new. Just you get the hang of it. Sehen.
Sehen.
I give you the keyword because it might not. That was the angel. I see an angel every day.
True.
I get up.
That's true. This came actually in my practice, so I should know this.
Good.
It will change to the IE here. So seat.
Excellent.
Yeah. And with the angel will be A. So since start.
No ending. Look at fuhr, and fuhr didn't have an ending. Briet has a T ending because it's part of the stem. So preteritum irregular is just the stem for now, for the S form. Yeah, sah and?
And then hat gesät.
Very good. Gesehen.
Gesehen.
Irregular past almost always ends in en. For you, always. That is the key indicator. Ne? Good. Sehen, sah, gesehen. Sieht, sah, gesehen. Genau. Do we have anything else? Trinken. I give you trinken. I wish I would remember. I give you the change. The keyword. The keyword. Yeah. Well, in the past, I used the word Saudi, but I think I found a better word nowadays. So someone from Saudi Arabia. Let's imagine they have the very traditional clothing, the white robes. Yeah. That's, of course, a stereotype. But
and it's hot and they need to drink.
Yes, a lot. They always have a canister on the back.
Yeah.
Very nice
so
image.
let's so it would be the I doesn't change.
Very good. So
So
as
chink.
yeah, because it doesn't belong to our two
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah, yeah.
No A, no E. Yeah, so no
Mhm,
change. Very good.
Okay, and then it would change to with an A, so trunk.
Excellent. You're already an expert in the past.
Okay. Hat getrunken.
Very good. Let's continue with the Saudi. Singen. The same
Singen.
keyword.
Es singt.
Excellent.
And sung.
Very good. Sang.
Sang.
Saudis like to sing, right? Whenever I meet a Saudi, they sing a lot.
Ah, ja. En hat gezang.
Careful. AU.
Gezang. AU.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
The
you.
A is burned. The A is already in the past tense.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be gesunken?
Yeah, but softer. It's a G.
Gesungen.
Gesungen. Yeah, it's a nasal. Gesungen.
Gesungen.
Yeah, it's not gesungen. Gesungen. It's not gesunken. So there's no G or K. It's a nang, nang. Like lung, the lung. You say lung?
Lang, yeah.
Yeah, that NG at the end of lung is the same. Gesungen.
Gesungen.
Okay, let me try one more. Sinken, as you have mentioned it. The Saudi bought a new yacht and it sank, said Saudi.
Very sad.
I'm not even sure whether Saudis have yachts. But
I'm sure they do.
nah.
Is sinkt. Okay. Sank.
Yeah.
Hat gesunken.
Excellent. Do you see any similarity between the last three verbs we used?
Yeah, it was sort of all IN.
ING in a way. Yeah. Well, literally, it's INK and ING, but K and G are like brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. Phonetically.
Like D and T.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a connection there. And therefore, these all behave the same. You see, they're all three Saudis. No. Okay, that was the easy part. We have one more. Common. You know what that means. By the way, do you know what sinken means?
Sinken? No.
Any English word that it reminds you of?
I mean, to sink, to...
Here you are. It's the same
same
meaning. Singen is klar, ne?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this one is a new image you haven't yet used, but I give it to you. Rambo. You know Rambo, John Rambo? Watch the first one, the other ones are not as good. So, yeah, this is a German Rambo in lederhosen.
Okay.
So associate, Rambo is coming with lederhosen and a sausage, yeah? And
Okay.
it's hard to be afraid of him, but he switched jobs. So Rambo, after doing all his movie career and killing many people, he is a currywurst salesperson at Alexanderplatz. And and he's always coming out of the U-Bahn when you are there. So somehow associated with coming more than selling. Yeah. Rambo is coming. Everybody's shouting, Rambo is coming. Hey! So, Rambo auf Deutsch. What are the forms?
Es komme, komm,
Very good.
kommt. Mhm. Kam, kam,
Nochmal.
kam.
Ja.
Mhm. Hat gekommt. Gekommen.
Excellent. Again, we haven't covered the past yet. You do fine. You do well. You copy from above, right? The ist and hat is something that's still a mystery. We look at that at one point. Not important. Hat
Mhm.
is a good default because most verbs use the hat in the past.
Mhm.
Good. This is the whole technique. Practice. I don't see any unclarities here. Is there anything left unclear?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, it's good. I'm glad we reviewed.
Yeah. Important. So let's look at the regular verbs. And again, we are still in present tense, yeah? The here and now, because the first thing we talk about is what is happening now. And then we start talking about the past, which is more important than the future, because the future is not written yet. Yeah? We do not use the future tense for the future that often. And we don't really have to use a special tense for the future because presence means from this point onwards. That includes the future.
Okay.
So if you want to say Rambo comes next week, how would you say that? Oh, Rambo is coming, or I don't know how you say in English. Rambo will come next week. Rambo is going to come next week. I don't know how you would say that.
Mm-hmm. You want the German?
Yes.
Okay.
Afrikaans is also fine. Or what if you know any? I don't know. Do you know Afrikaans?
Ja, ik ken Afrikaans. Rambo kommt nächste Woche.
Excellent. And the nächste has the right ending. I'm impressed. This is the future because it's next week, obviously. But grammatically, this is the present tense, not the future tense. You get the point?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to talk about something that happens anytime later than now, you just add the time to it and you're fine. We have a future tense. We mainly use it for making assumptions. We get there when it's fun, but it's not urgent. So for now, you're actually fine with the present tense and the perfect tense. These are the only two tenses you need until the end of B1. You can ignore the preteritum, but it's part of the technique and it's automatically included, so no extra work.
Okay.
Okay, regular verbs in present, just a review, because last time we started with the irregular, like we did today. So I give you a regular verb now, which is kaufen. Very important verb. People have to buy a lot. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you
Ja.
conjugate this? Ich, du, es.
Ja, ich kaufe.
Excellent.
Du kaufst.
Sehr gut.
Es kauft.
Sehr schön. Next.
Ihr. Ihr.
You want to skip one, okay?
Wie. Wir.
Hm?
Wir kaufen. Ihr kauft. And sie kaufen.
Excellent. Simple principle, right? Do you know what I put a dot after the kauf. Do you know what the kauf is called?
The stem.
Stem. Yeah, or root, depends on who you ask. Yeah. So you take the root and put the typical endings. There's only very few exceptions from the endings. Yeah. But we look at that when they come. That was all there was. Last question. How do you know a verb is regular or irregular?
I have to know the irregular verb.
And how do
if
you
I have
know?
if I have an association with it.
That's good, yeah. So in simple verbs, you must learn which one is regular or irregular, and where can you find this information? You can ask a
Um,
German, but they're not always around.
the verb wizard.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah.
Let's assume the internet dies.
Hmm.
What do you use?
Hmm.
Old school.
Old school. The book?
Yeah. What book? In what book do you
Dictionary?
find? Hmm. In the dictionary. How do you know Topf, the gender of Topf?
I have to know it.
And where do you find that information?
I guess also in the dictionary.
Yes. So all your answers are in the dictionary. Yeah. Except grammar
Mhm.
rules, they're in a grammar book, which is not that thick either.
Mhm.
No. Even Germans theoretically would have to look up a new word in a dictionary.
Mm.
It's not in our genes to know the genders. Yeah. It's a technique. A language is a kind of tool. Therefore, you need to learn how to use it. Okay, very good. Did you come across anything? We look at one technique for today. That was a nice review. Yeah. And
Mhm.
well done. I will always occasionally ask you, remind you until I'm very sure this is, I wake you up at 3 at night and you can say irregular verbs only do an S change, and I have to look it up in the dictionary. Yeah.
Okay.
The answer to any question I ask you is usually very simple. That makes it difficult because our brain always wants a complex explanation. If you start thinking more than one layer deep, it's wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good to
dictionary.
know.
It doesn't get simpler than that. You cannot know. Good. Anything you came across while you were studying on your own? How did you feel the 2 3 days? You said so. We met on Thursday, I think. No,
Mhm.
Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You were 3 days on your own. How was that?
We met on Thursday morning.
Mm.
The I was very energized on Thursday from our after our lesson. Um, then I think it was just getting into the tools, logging in, and all of that. So now I think I'm learning how to have a better rhythm and create a kind of some habits so that I know when is a good time for me to learn German. Yeah, I think yeah,
Could you
it
actually
was.
could
Mhm.
sorry, finish.
Yeah, it was. There was lots of different tools to jump into. So for me, it was a bit. I was still trying to understand what is a good order for me to go in, and how far do I go in each with each tool. Like, what is a good um, amount of time for each. So I think on the first day, I was like, okay, you'll do every day, you'll do 1 hour with the B1 course at least. And then maybe it's 1 hour with the pronunciation, or, half an hour with the pronunciation and half an hour with the verb wizard. So it was, yeah, just trying to figure out what is a good mix of all the tools together for one day.
Yeah, it's always good to pay attention how you feel. So if after half an hour you feel exhausted, you take a break. And the break doesn't have to be an hour, it could be 5 minutes. And you do
Mm-hmm.
maybe something else. You play with the verb wizard, or
Mm-hmm.
you do the vocabulary with your Anki app.
Mm-hmm.
No? And then when you feel refreshed again or distracted enough, you can try again to invest another 15, 20 minutes into the next step in the course. The first lesson is brutal in the sense that there's plenty of new techniques. And because you might not have been in school for a long time, the techniques are nothing new. I took proven techniques and just digitalized them and made them more efficient. No? So let's see how you did. Okay, so you're in the reading analysis. Very good. Can you scroll up in the sidebar? Normally, I don't recommend doing that, but as we are getting the hang of this, stop. You see reading comprehension, which is not which does not have a green check yet. Click. Okay. Scroll down a bit so I can see what words you highlighted. Very good. If you read this text now, do you remember any of the red words?
Yes.
Which can you translate the first 2-3 sentences? More or less.
Sure. So the sun shines and it's a beautiful day. And every morning there comes a gardener called Klaus Blumfeld to a big old house at the end of the street. And yeah, no people have lived there for many years.
Last one.
Yeah, and Blumfeld's job is to make the garden or to keep the garden in a good condition and
What does
do some repairs.
Very good. What does Dinge mean?
Things.
Okay, pretty good. So in the next, can you go to lesson 2? Let's see how long that one is. Okay, now you go to stop reading comprehension. Now you see the few words that are highlighted. These are the words that were unclear in the first lesson.
Okay.
Yeah. So any word you highlight in the reading will be transferred over to all courses you do. So if at one point you realize, oh, I know what zu means, or I know what ring means, you can click on it again and it vanishes from your vocabulary tool, which you are not using at the moment because you use Anki. No? Just that you know, so you can get rid of the red. And it shows you how much of this text is already unknown, but there will be more new words, of course. There's quite a lot of new words in B1. Okay, good. Now, can you go back to lesson 1 and let's take a look at the preaching. Okay, how was this for you?
I hadn't even gotten to this part yet.
You are not there yet. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Then that's
I'm just about to get there.
Yeah, actually, you're right. By the way, do you see above the preaching, you see pronunciation word stress?
Yes.
Yeah. So do not work with the pronunciation trainer that I shared with you in the beginning. Actually, do the pronunciation when it's in the course. That removes one more tool from the list. Yeah. Stick to the course. It gives you more structure. You don't have to make that many decisions. Everything is in my course already, except the vocabulary trainer that is also there, but we don't not using it yet. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's work with the Anki. Okay. So you have done this, memorize articles. The article technique, is that clear to you?
The article technique?
Yeah, if you go to the left, 2 up, you see app, memorize German articles quickly.
Yeah.
Or even higher, German learning articles training.
Yes.
So you've done this, right?
Yeah.
Can you close your eyes? I asked you the gender of the words in this list and see whether you remember. If not, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. I'd say the English word because all for now you need to remember is the gender of the thing itself, not the word. The word will come with your vocabulary training. So holiday is what gender?
This is masculine.
Very good. Umbrella.
Also masculine.
Okay. I have to switch a little bit. How about glass or glass in English?
This is neutral.
Very good. What about paradise?
This is also neutral.
Hand.
And Mm. I, is it feminine?
Very good. Beard.
It's masculine.
Gold.
This is neutral.
Life.
Neutral.
Sausage.
This is masculine.
What's the image you remember? Three
For
possible
sausage,
images.
it's a baby in a glass sort of thing with a gold face, and is very, very happy and content. And then for the feminine, is it a queen or something? And she's at the post office and she's in a long queue. She's waiting. And for the masculine, it's a very strange bearded man with a fish for an umbrella. That's what I remember.
Very good. So why is the queen at the post office? What's she picking up?
Oh, she's picking up sausages. She's
Here
picking
we
up a
go.
horse sausage.
Okay, wait, very well. So you learned the stories. In the future, I recommend, and I start like this, but I recommend to really make singular associations like baby. Well, baby's obvious, but baby sitting in a sink. If you combine it with glass, that's fine. So one or two nouns you can combine, but I wouldn't combine more because
Mm-hmm.
you have to go through the whole story first to get to the sausage.
Mm-hmm.
If you do this a few times, the sausage is kind of the whole story is like an image, right? You look at an image where you see the queen in line and there's sausages lying all around, or everybody else is a sausage, or you come up with something that also works. But the fewer elements you have in that image, the clearer is the answer because you have only three possibilities. The sausage could either be associated with the queen, with the baby, or with a superhero. And that means there's a 33% chance of guessing, but your feeling will pull you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did well. Excellent. So this technique is your main technique to master the genders. We will get to the point where I show you why this is so important. Yeah, it's not just saying no, everything depends, or many things depend on the gender. Even the plural form depends on the gender. So that's why it is part of the first lesson of all my courses.
Mm-hmm.
So every preaching, which is a technique to practice your grammar without thinking of rules, you will learn. You see there is 10 nouns that you have to memorize with this technique. You do not necessarily need to remember the German words. You will learn them anyhow by doing the preaching. And I chose simple words to begin with anyhow, because it's not about vocabulary. This is about patterns. So you first memorize all these now the gender of these nouns. On the right, you see you have the English words. You can also just use that. Chair is masculine. Yeah. So you make this association. The superhero sits on a chair and it breaks because he's so strong and heavy. Yeah. And babies get a mobile phone already at 10 months old because parents have to always check where they are when they're in kindergarten. Yeah. So you make this kind of silly associations. Takes you 3-4 minutes, doesn't matter. It gets easier and easier. I will also recycle certain nouns, so you will not always have to learn 10 new nouns or genders of nouns. And then you click on start the test. So, and then you're checked on the 10. And when this is clear and you do well, then you move on to the actual exercise because you need the gender for this. Yeah. This is your next task. This is one of the most important exercises, and it takes time. So take your time trying to get the hang of this. And if you struggle with anything, you reach out to me. Yeah. By the way, if you click the R on your keyboard or the button on the top right that says reader mode, have you tried this? You get
No,
rid
not
of the
yet.
distractions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No more nonsense. And click it again, then it comes back, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. This is your next step. We will meet again in maybe 2 days this time. We will see, depends on when you are free, and then we will advance. Okay?
Sounds good. Mhm.
So remove the pronunciation exercises from the beginning. They are now implemented in this course. But work with the Anki thing. Have you started working with the Anki?
No, not yet. I
No.
just got it. I just figured out how to set it up.
I know but trust me, it's worth it because once you've sorted it out, it will stick with you for good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Just one last thing. Maybe go to the lower left corner. Your screen is a bit zoomed in. Yeah. So the V on the left.
Yeah.
Click on it. Yeah. So here you see the context of the word you have highlighted. You have highlighted the V in the text, and it's testing you. So do you know what the V means in this context?
V is, I want to say how, but it doesn't feel right for this, no?
Genau, it's a different translation. So you don't know, you click space and it shows you. Even worse. Of course, it's not how, it's like.
Okay.
But in case you throw the towel with the Anki or don't want to work on a mobile, you can also do a bit of vocab work here. This tool will only show you the words you have highlighted. That's the difference.
Okay.
Yeah, and it will not show you a wall of text. It will only show you that one line where you highlighted the word. Okay. Enjoy and take breaks whenever you feel energy fading. Anything else on your chest? You can stop sharing your screen.
No, not for now.
Okay. So I suggest we indeed, for the first 2 weeks, if not 3, we meet 3 times a week, just to get this out of the way. So the first 3 weeks are really more or less set up basics, and then there's a bit more flexibility in what we are looking at. And then we can also have a few more practice sessions. I will do the preaching with you in person, so to see how to optimize it. So every tool in that course shall be crystal clear and easy to use for you.
Okay.
Yeah? And 1 hour a day with the course is fine. Yeah. And if you want next day and something is still not fully clear, why not repeat that 1 hour? Yeah. Clarity beats mass or amount.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So it's a bit technical for now, but you get there. And the vocabulary is in the course, so in the text.
What I got from today was maybe rethink my notes, and I can share some of my notes with you.
Yeah.
For the irregular verbs, I can check out the videos. And yeah, I can get started on my Anki cards as well, and then progress with the course and do the pronunciation in the course.
Yeah, very good. And that's quite a lot already. So first of all, the articles that needs to sit. Yeah, you need to learn the article technique. So it's not just a trick, right? It's really something that helps, because you will have develop a feeling, oh, there's a little baby in here. Can you see it? Yeah, see? So all these things, and this will stick with you for until you die. I have memories I would love to get rid of, but so this is one kind of memory you will not forget. And the conjugation that's in the SEC, yeah, there's exceptions we work on later, but exceptions are never what we worry about for B1. And the past tense you already touched, and when you watch the videos and play with the app for the next 2 days, you will actually progress there, and at one point it will also click. The past tense has a few angles, like the ist and hat thing, also not too relevant for B1. Yeah, good if you know the top 5 ist words, you will learn them. The rest is hat for you. So you have already covered quite a lot of grounds, and now it's getting used to the techniques and stuff. Dictation. Did you do dictation?
I think once.
How was it?
Yes.
Easy?
Which is good. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, you can
Actually, not that
hear.
bad.
You can hear and see the words when you type them. Like you know how to type words.
For that one, I was not bad. I
What
remember
does it mean?
thinking,
Not
okay,
bad.
better than I thought.
Still no answer. What does it mean?
um, it was clear for me, I think.
Good.
It was clear
If
for
it's
me.
fun, continue. If you want to
Yeah.
make it more difficult, there was a tutorial, not sure whether you skipped through it. There's a little button that looks like a target.
Mhm.
And if you click that, it doesn't give you instant feedback. It leaves everything gray. That makes it a
Okay.
bit more challenging. And then you only see your mistakes at the end when you click the X button or finish the text.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a little, if you want a little bit of a challenge, play around with it. Click, in general, in my courses, click any button you find and see what it does.
Okay. Okay.
I try to add tutorials to everything. The dictation has one. Play.
Okay.
Yeah, explore.
Mhm.
It's good. If you want, also one more thing, can you share your screen? I give you
Yeah.
something. Maybe you like explorative. I have an AI assistant for you. Go to settings in the lower left corner, the SW. Yeah, no, scroll down. I have to see. So you can earn badges. Huh?
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, it's cute ones. So go up. We have to look for possibly sound. Go higher. On the top or sound. Yeah. So there's a study assistant which will send motivational messages every now and then. It shouldn't send you too often, every 15 minutes maybe. Turn it on. And for now, leave it in German and see whether you understand what it says. I think you can also click on the little message that pops up every time
Mhm.
and have a translation. If you just want the
Ah, okay.
motivation, you choose the English one. But for now, leave it in German. And there's another
Mhm.
thing. You see background sounds. They are not on by default. It just means you can actually activate them. So if you want, you can have some background music or a
Ah, okay.
thunderstorm or some ocean sounds, if that helps you. No? You can
Okay.
also
Mhm.
leave it off.
Oh, wow.
But
Mm.
just yeah, that's it doesn't purr constantly, but it's
That
no.
seems accurate.
Yeah, it's just a little playfulness in the whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
that's
rest is not
cute.
that important. Dankeschön. And
Nice.
I'm here if you need me or get stuck or frustrated. Always drop everything, go for a walk, and then let me know what's wrong.